This is the third video for 38.A, and I wanted to go ahead and go over one of the examples that they had. I just wanted to add one little piece of information as you read this example. The question is, how many three-letter signs can be made from the word numeral? Now, I went ahead and put the word numeral in boxes. I want you to think of when they say how many different ways can you make a sign, think of it like a Scrabble, where each one of these letters, and you're going to take any three of these letters and use them for a three-letter sign. Now, keep in mind, the three-letter sign does not have to form another word. And I think that's one of those things that the problem doesn't really say. You look at it and say, well, you know, obviously, if I use three consonants all together, it's really not a word. How does this work? I'm not really looking for a word. I'm looking for three-letter signs. Okay, so they may stand for something. It's just a sign with three letters on it. So when I look at it, I say, well, how many letters does the word numeral have in it? Well, there's 7 letters in the word numeral. So if there's 7 letters in it, I have how many in this box? And the correct answer would be there are 7 possibilities. But once I use one of these letters, whatever that letter is, I only have 6 more I can choose from. So I'm going to go ahead and say 6 because that's all I have left. Once I get to that point, I say, well, there's only going to be how many left for the last one? There's only 5 in here. And when I take those and I say 6 times 5, or 7 times 6 times 5, and that equals 210 possible answers. Well, there's 210 possible signs that can be made with this because I did not allow for repetition. Now, if I said these were digital and I wanted to look at this and say, well, what I could reuse the letters, like some of the little word games that you've seen on your phone. If I were allowed to do that, I would say 7 times 7 times 7. Because that would allow for repetition. So once again, there's a difference between allowing for repetition or not allowing for repetition. And the problem's either going to tell you that in the word problem, repetition is allowed or repetition is not allowed, or they're expecting you to realize what allows for repetition and what does not. For instance, this one here, even though the problem, I didn't write it up here, but the problem in the book for 38.3 does say repetition is not allowed. Although it would be pretty easy to figure out that if I'm cutting up a sign, I can't reuse a numeral or a letter in a box here. So this is 210 different ways that the numbers, the three-letter words could be made, or three-letter signs could be made from the word numeral, which 210 is obviously very large if you're trying to get actual words. There's considerably less actual words, but arrangement of letters, 210.